Alright guys, Mr. Slyway here. This is the last of our videos of the Antebellum time period. I went ahead and posted our summative assignment for this unit, which is to do a one-page kind of research paper of your choosing on one of those topics. You'll see it on the list. And to create a bumper sticker for your carriage, because, you know, there's no cars. And then take a picture of it and post it in the assignment on the Google Classroom. As well, okay? So we're going to cover the last couple of things before we move on to the next unit from this unit. So we've got cotton and we've got voting, right? So you guys already did the assignment that went along with this, so I want to make sure that if you've got any questions, tomorrow we'll do our Google Meet. I'll put that up there, and we'll have a little chit-chat if you want. All right? So King Cotton. First off, it's referred to as King Cotton because cotton in the South is what basically drives the economy, right? It's the king of the South. It's in charge. Cotton production is what basically pushes everything during this time period. All right? Cotton, unfortunately, also greatly increases slavery throughout the South. Why? Well, if you know anything about cotton, a cotton boll is in the middle of cotton, and it's this spiky, kind of thorny, sharp object that the cotton wraps itself around, and it's a pain to pick, right? So your landowners, your wealthy white individuals, they don't want to pick that. So they purchase slaves and force the slaves to pick the cotton. We're going to get into that later on. It's not a great situation, but the mass increase in cotton production is going to greatly increase slavery in the United States as well. Okay? When that happens, you're going to start to get a bit of a divide between the North and the South. You've got your individuals called abolitionists in the North who start to believe that slavery is immoral, It's inherently wrong, it's religiously wrong, it's ethically wrong. All right? In the South, you're going to get a lot of pushback against that, who feel that slavery is just a necessary part of the economy. Okay? During that time period, you're going to get a lot of slave rebellions. There's a big one in Wilmington, North Carolina. You're also going to get the emergence of the Underground Railroad, which is not a railroad. Somebody always gets that wrong on the test. It's just a series of houses and paths through the woods and in cities and whatnot, in which people smuggled themselves and others from the South to the North. But you're going to get the emergence of that as well during this time period. One of the big things that comes out in the North is this whole abolitionism feeling, this idea that slavery should be abolished, that it should be gotten rid of, that slaves should be emancipated and given rights. So you get a lot of leading abolitionists in the North. One of the big ones is William Lloyd Garrison. He creates the Anti-Slavery Society, writes The Liberator, this pamphlet about how Southern slaves should be freed and should be given rights, all right? Now, the South views this as a massive danger to themselves. The South views this as an attack on their way of living, as an attack on their financial livelihood, just as an attack on themselves, all right, on everything that they believe. So you're starting to get this massive divide between the North and the South, okay? Another big abolitionist that we need to talk about is Frederick Douglass. He was a runaway slave himself. Managed to get on a train from the South, literally a train from the South, and head to the North and to get away. He became a major anti-slavery speaker, wrote the North Star, a magazine or a pamphlet, if you will, about anti-slavery and about getting rid of slavery as well. He would become very famous, end up actually working with Abraham Lincoln, and we'll get into that later on when we get to the Civil War in that time period, okay? So the important thing to understand about cotton, King Cotton in the South, is that it's really starting to trigger or cause this divide between the North and the South that is going to become a major issue as we move on through our units, okay? The other issue that's going to really occur during this time period is voting. Voting prior to 1800, it's mainly rich, old white dudes. You had to own land, you had to pay taxes, you had to be male, you had to be white. Okay, so that really restricted who was able to vote. So less than 50% of the people in America are capable of voting during this time period. All right, now that's going to slowly change, and that's going to have a really big impact on the United States as well. It's going to have a big impact on triggering the Civil War as well. So by 1840, most of the states remove these restrictions, so you end up with a lot of different types of people voting. Still white, still men, but not necessarily property owners, landowners, not necessarily wealthy individuals. You get a lot of your more, I guess, common man, the common white male vote, or universal white male suffrage. And that's going to change who a lot of the political leaders are and create a really big divide between who leads in the North and who leads in the South. All right? So that's the end of our notes for this unit. We are going to move on to a slightly more complicated unit after this. Again, make sure that you do your summative assignment. It's kind of fun. Like I said, it's a one-page essay and creating a bumper sticker for one of these movements that we've talked about, right? Education, or religion, or slavery, or voting, or you could get into the women's rights or psychological issues, a lot of different things, right? So again, choose one of those things, do your one-page research paper, get your bumper sticker done, and submit it on Google Classroom. All right, cool. I'll do another check-in with you guys, see how you're feeling on Thursday, and then we will start the new unit coming up soon. See you later.